I'm Nikki Shepherd. Welcome to Coffee Morning.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm just going to make myself some coffee and some cake then.
Yes, have some cake. Yeah, so Coffee Morning has been running in this form since spring 2021. So we came out of COVID and we knew a lot of people were really lonely and didn't have a connection. A lot of people didn't have anybody. They'd gone through a period of time, and even throughout that year there was a lot of times where people went back into isolation. Actually, that first year was mostly outside, so we were out in front and we sat outside with tables, but we felt, so many people, they were really anxious about being back in the world and they just hadn't seen people, so we knew we needed to do something just as a chance for people to come together. And over time, what we've realised as well is it's become this kind of soft front door. And it's a way for people to come through. And, when there's some people, they come for months before they open up about what's really going on. We've had people who have walked past for years before they've come through the door. And I think just being able to come and be with other people has been so important for them that day.
Sometimes I'll shut myself away. Today's on it and not talk to anyone. The only place I should go socialise.
True. I really don't.
It's true. I totally agree with that.
But I'm a social person, but in the last few years, when my mental health's not great, I just recede into myself.
I need to be around people to bring out the best in me. I'm all tangled, don't you question me? I've been here for what, 38 years?
I won't pay for them.
No, this is...
My mum was born, she lived in Pebble Road, and my nan and granddad were from
It's where I feel comfortable, where I can see somebody, even if I don't know their name.
Yeah.
We smile because it's familiar. It's a familiar feeling.
It's nice. I know people. I've got a lot of cousins and that round here, so if I don't know somebody personally, they know someone that I know. That's how. I find that as Cambridge as a whole as well,
Absolutely.
Especially in this environment.
I'm all knotted.
Got when I used to go to church.
It's a community feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one thing I miss about going to church.
I go to church.
The feeling of togetherness.
Yeah.
Together.
We want to be together.
We want to be together.
The purple's under the foot.
The purple's under the foot.
Oh no! Your foot, stop it.
Did you know? So did you know purple isn't actually a colour?
What is it?
No, purple in physics.
Why?
There is no colour purple.
My favourite.
No, it's.
So I've got to change what my favourite colour is.
It's just.
Chaos.
Sorry.
It's your superpower.
Behind me.
Oh no, that's what I see.
Is it?
Everything everywhere.
Yeah.
Her birthday. Get massages at
So you are a chaos maker as well.
Yes.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
How is it sad?
I mean, I like the creative, but then I have big gouges out of my walls because I turn around to do something and the wheelchair's scraped it and
So we wanted to focus on superpowers because so many of the people that we work with and support have got a lot of stuff going on. People have to go and tell their stories to professionals over and over again, and they have to tell the bad bits over and over again. And people talk about the story of Abbey as an area. People focus on the deprivation and the challenges that the area has and the people in the area have. But we see people every day who have such amazing superpowers and who are so generous and so caring and are doing so much for other people and have come through so much and are still here and are still vibrant. And so we wanted to do something that helped people focus on those pieces of themselves so that they could share what they wanted to share of their stories, but in a way that helped them to focus on the good things that they're doing. And people rarely think about the good they're bringing. By having come through something, somebody else who's in that can see them and know that actually there is light on the other side of this thing I'm going through. And so we started off by having people draw, so they're designing a superhero, but focusing on what their superpower is. But it was really hard, both to think about themselves in a positive light, but it meant that we were able to have lots of conversations as a group, and people were able to share what they thought other people's superpowers were and what they've seen in other people. And one person spoke about a tree, and somebody else spoke about you fix cracks with gold, and being able to talk about that. And it's given people a way, an outlet, I guess, to think about how they've recovered from things or how they've renewed themselves. And also it's given people a chance to affirm each other and talk about what they see that's good in other people.
Alright, are we ready? I've been living over the Abbey for 38 years. I've started coming to the Hub February, I think it was, and I can't even tell you how much they have changed my life. They really have. They've helped me with so many things, from applying for things to my CV that they've made for me. They've been incredible people, always welcoming, always lovely, and it's got me involved with the community even more. So that's that bit. My next bit, my superpower, okay? So I always said my superpower is my heart. Because honestly, if someone's broken, I'll fix them. If someone's crying, I'll hug them. I need to be needed, and that's how I get pleasure out of life, by just being me and just liking people.
Well, like I say, I think I've got a couple of superpowers. My biggest one really is I can read a vibe. If a vibe is off, or like if someone doesn't like me or something like that, I can kind of read that vibe. I tend to try and stay away from that. But what I really like about Abbey People is they've been so accepting that I'm not necessarily myself in other situations, whereas this is me, this is how I am, and because I feel accepted, I feel I can carry on being this way. There's a real sort of community sense and feel. It's like my church in some sort of ways. People go to church for that community feel. That's what I come to Abbey People for. And same for my son as well. I think it's good for him. He comes to the youth club and things like that. So it's good for us both. My family are from Abbey, so this is all I've ever known. Even though I've just moved just outside of Abbey, I still come back. My mum and dad still live here. I love the place. Obviously it's changed a lot over the years, but what I love about it is the community. Barnwell has that community feel where people know each other, just to say hello, and in times of need and trouble, they come together, and especially when they have the things like the big lunch they have over Dudley Road in the summertime. That's when everyone comes out and you see all the families, people you haven't seen for some time, and big community feel. Also with the food bank, I've had to use it a couple of times, but it's such a good staple part. I know a lot of people that have benefited a lot.
Yeah. Is that right? you want your card back and your flowers?
But
I'd like
and
sorting.
untangler, depending on how I'm feeling on any given day.
I think it
Yeah,
depends
I mean,
on
a
what
lot
you're
of people-
tangling and untangling. Too.
Yeah.
I'm a sorter though.
Like I do. Sometimes I'll just like
People don't
hyper
understand
focus
it.
on like decluttering and organising and all that sort of stuff. But other times I'm just like I just like leave chaos behind me.
I'm very much you look on the outside. You open the cupboard and
I don't think chaos is a
an
bad
ADHD
thing.
for you.
No.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I do tend to
In moderation.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't
I
be.
do. Sorry.
Okay,
I
we're
do
doing
tend to
smart.
Could have
create.
been a DBS-based.
I don't like the status quo, so I tend to create like I'll like kind of mix things up in order to allow for better things to come out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So it's not like bad chaos, but I tend to shake things up around me.
Okay. That's fair.
So I don't necessarily see myself as helping, I'm just sharing what I learned. Because it took so much out of me to know what I know, that if it saves a bit of someone else's soul by me sharing it, then it is worth it. And that's why I guess I go back to coffee mornings. So I knew Nikki from holiday and activities clubs where my children used to go, but I didn't quite know what was her role and her organization, if that makes sense. And then we had the final hearing with family court, where my ex was pretty much given free rein despite the abuse proven. And it broke me. And I think places like Abbey, like Meadows, like Women's Aid, it's not enough of them. Because without that support, I don't know if I would be here. Having been able to tell your story, my story being one of many, and be heard and believed and offered support which is tailored to your needs. I think that's what matters, and that's why Abbey Hub is amazing at what they do. And that's something the social services or police was not able to help me with. So they hear and they take it away, and then they kind of ponder, like Nikki did, and then they research the ways of finding the best way to support any individual. And that speaks volume of their compassion and their mission and the importance of places like this. And I'm not the only victim of abuse they have supported, because I've met quite a few. And if you were to speak to all of them, or any of them, they would tell you the same, that they don't see you, oh, you do not fit our box. They see you as a person in genuine need, and they go out of their way to find you the best support, given limited resources they have. But most of it is just going there and being with people who get it, because that's very hard part of coming out of abuse or experience I had, and rarely spoken to, that nobody gets it. Not even your family, your friends do not see what you've been through and don't understand it. And I think that's where Abbey People have been a savior. And that is precious. That is precious for someone who is struggling as I did, or in similar way, to have someone who is actually willing to put themselves out and find the best way to support you. And just the quiet presence, like, you know, you can go back at any time. You know, you have people who you can talk to. So it doesn't stop, the mission does not stop. The Abbey People, the Meadows, the Woman Aid, the mission doesn't stop. It doesn't have the cut-off time. It doesn't have the end or beginning. Something which you cannot match. It doesn't matter how much money other organization may have, if they don't have that mission, which Mniki does, to help people help themselves. So if I could put all of that negative experience I had with all those failures by the system, by the people who should be there, into practice, and maybe bring out some good of it, that would be amazing. That would kind of go with what I believe in, is like, pay forward the good you get.
It's so hard to quantify what we do here at Abbey People, because it's the threads between people and the connections between people. And for us, the coffee morning is, for so many people, it's the entry point. But it's about holding space for the community and letting them fill it. And I mean, when we first started the coffee morning, we had lots of time where nobody came. And it's like, we're just going to keep holding space, we're going to chat to people as they walk by, and we're going to let it evolve the way it needs to and the way the community needs to. And it's being okay with that. They come in because it's easy and it's simple, and they don't have to come in and tell anybody their story. They don't have to even give us their name when they come the first time. They never have to give us their name if they don't want to. And they can come in the door, and it's friendly and it's happy, and they can have some coffee and cake. But people over time build connections between other people. They hear other people's challenges, they see they're not alone, and people don't realise that by coming just and having a coffee, it's building those threads of connections that then over time, it's building community.